Hello everyone, I'm Baruffy1322 and in this video I'm going to be showing the top 25 slowest vehicles in GTA 5 around a circuit. This is a special edition spin-off video within my usual testing series to give an alternative view on some of these vehicles with different categorizations. If you want to know how all vehicles perform in a variety of different classes and formats, check the annotation on the screen or the link in the description for the full playlist of videos, and of course feel free to subscribe for future updates. So first up in this sort of different look at these vehicles is the Ripley. This has a best lap of 1 minute 58.1. It is the 25th slowest vehicle in the entire game, 10th best utility vehicle, and this is quite interesting because we're going to be basically going backwards to what we're normally used to. This countdown is going to be getting slower and slower vehicles as we go through. So the Doc Tug with a 158.5, quite interesting that even at this point we've got vehicles that are very close together in terms of lap time, and that is proven here again with the Dash Hound in 23rd with a 158.6. so very close together. Only a tenth of a second separates the Dash Hound and the Doc Tug. But you know, considering that we're already with the Prison Bus here in 22nd place into the 2-minute lap times, there are still 21 cars to go that are even slower than this, 21 vehicles I should say, that are even slower than this, so there are some quite slow vehicles in the game. Now in 21st place we've got the 8th best boat in the game, which is the Police Predator. Pretty slow for the boats class, it's not very good. At 2 minutes 3.2, again just to remind everybody that the track that I used to test boats is exactly the same length as the track that I used to test vehicles. So again, whilst they're not directly comparable, they are somewhat comparable in terms of the lap times that they get because they are covering the same distance. Now the Sun Trap in 20th place with a 2 minutes 4.5, it's quite a little bit slower than the Police Predator. And then in 19th place we've got the quickest bike in the game, and that's the race bike. So at 2 minutes 8 for this, it kind of shows that there's going to be a lot more cycles in this video, because even the quickest cycle is in this video as one of the slowest vehicles in the game. And then in 18th place, a little bit slower than the race bike, is the Fixter. This is a single player special bike that you can only get under specific circumstances, and it is slightly different to the race bike, and it is 6 seconds per lap slower. Now in 17th place we've got the Rhino tank. Makes it the only military vehicle, the only vehicle in the military class to make an appearance here with a 2 minutes 26 lap time. Those lap time increases are starting to become much more profound at this point. In 16th place we've got the Scorcher, the third best cycle in the game. It has a 2 minutes 32.6 lap time. It's crazy that I'm talking about these lap times, just to put it into perspective that, you know, the T20 and the top supercars, for example, are all getting 1 minute 2 lap times, 1 minute 1 lap times, so these are significantly slower than the majority of vehicles in the game, and most vehicles in the game are actually get a lap time of less than say 1 minute 50, so these are very slow. As you saw there, we had the BMX in 15th place, and then in 14th place we've got the Forklift with a 2 minutes 49.5, getting slower and slower all the time. The 12th best utility vehicle in the game, the Forklift. There are still some more utility vehicles to come, but we're back again straight away with the cycles. 13th place here for the Cruiser, which is the slowest cycle in the game, 2 minutes 55.1. So this video is pretty much dominated by the cycles, the utility vehicles class, and mainly the industrial vehicles class as well, but there are a few others mixed in there, but those do generally generally have all of the slowest vehicles in them. As you can see here with the Fieldmaster in 12th place at 2 minutes 57, we're starting to get closer to 3 minute lap times now, which is crazy. In 11th place we do break that 3 minute barrier with the Dump, a 3 minutes 7.4, 6th best industrial vehicle in the game, so we've still got quite a few industrial vehicles to come. And here's another one in 10th place with the Cutter, the 7th best industrial vehicle, a 3 minutes 20 lap time for this. Just to point out that a lot of these vehicles you're not going to be able to get in a race. A lot of these vehicles you're not even going to be able to get in GTA Online, or only in very specific circumstances, even in single player. I've just used various means to test them because I find it interesting to test all of the vehicles, and I wanted to sort of make sure I tested everything in the game. So the Cutter is the perfect example of that. It's only available in the final mission in the game, but that is how quick it is. Now in ninth place is the dock handler, just a little bit slower than the cutter by about 1 second, so they're quite close actually. It's quite difficult to get used to the idea that as we're going through this list and as we're going closer to first place, we're actually getting slower and slower. Normally every single video in this series we've always been going through the list and getting quicker and quicker, so you know, just something to keep in mind, we are actually getting slower and slower here. In 8th place, just a little bit slower than the dock handler, is the air tug. They're actually very similar, but obviously completely different in terms of their size and stuff like that. But in terms of the way that they drive and the speed that they have, the air tug and the dock handler are very similar. With a 3 minutes 24 lap time for the air tug, it's difficult at this point to kind of think that there'd be anything slower. When you look at the footage and you realize how slow these vehicles are going, it's difficult to imagine that we'd have anything slower. But you know, we've got in 7th place here with the rusty tractor. This is officially called the tractor in game, whereas the other tractor is obviously technically called the Fieldmaster, as we saw earlier. A 3 minutes 28 for the tractor. It's very brittle as well. You know, you're only going to find this in single player as well. You generally don't want to be driving this. It's not very quick and it's not going to last very long if you get any damage on it. But it is the 15th best utility vehicle in the game, and yeah, 3 minutes 28 makes it the 7th slowest. So now we've got a few boats. Now the boats class in general is very slow. I would say it's the slowest class apart from the cycles maybe, but these are the slowest of the boats. And first up we've got the Marquis with a 4 minutes 2.2. So over that 4 minute per lap barrier is pretty crazy how slow that is. And again, this is covering exactly the same distance as all of the vehicles that we've seen in this video and all of the cars that we see in all of the other videos as well. So the Marquis there was in 6th place, and in 5th place we've got the Kraken with a 4 minutes 20.3 lap time. So 20 seconds per lap slower than the Marquis even. The submarines are actually in the boats class, and they are the 2 slowest vehicles in the boats class as well. You generally don't want to be driving one of these to get anywhere anytime soon. They are extremely slow, and the Kraken is the 5th slowest vehicle in the game, and the 4th slowest vehicle in the game is the regular submersible. Again, you know, the submarines are not in any way quick, and they're more for exploring the deep sea, I suppose, more so than getting from point A to point B. But a 4 minutes 53 lap time is absolutely incredibly slow. And again, at this point, you know, what could be even slower than this? Now, I think that you guys may know one of them, but maybe you weren't expecting 3rd place, which is this, on foot. So running around the track is something that I did quite a while ago, but I don't think a lot of people saw it because it was hidden away in a spin-off video. When you run around the track, covering exactly the same distance again as everything that we've seen, you get a lap time of 5 minutes 59, so almost 6 minutes to get around the track. And the reason that I've put this in is because it shows how slow the top 2 vehicles are on one hand, and obviously as you can see there in the top left, this is the 331st overall in terms of lap time. That means there are 333 unique vehicles in the game, and I've tested all of them, and that's just to put that into a little bit of perspective. If you want to see all of that, you know, the link to the playlist is in the description. So in 2nd place we've got the lawnmower. This is slower than running around the track, and it gets a lap time of 6 minutes 30 seconds. So it is about 30 seconds slower than running around the track. If you were in a GTA race and a utility race and you were on lawnmowers, it would be better for you to get off it and start running around the track rather than stay on it. That's how slow it is, and as you can see from the footage, it is incredibly slow. 6 minutes 30 to get around the lap, to get around the same lap that most vehicles will do in 1 minute 15, 1 minute 10, and getting closer to 1 minute for the top supercars and sports cars. That's an incredible difference. But what could be even slower than this? Well, it's the Dozer. The Dozer is the slowest vehicle in the entire game with a lap time of 8 minutes 45.7 seconds. 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes to get around the lap. It's incredible how slow this vehicle is. If you thought the lawnmower was slow, it would run rings around the Dozer in a race. Obviously you can't use the Dozer in a race, but yeah, it's obviously the worst vehicle in the industrial class, and it is absolute slowest vehicle in the entire game by a long way. So that pretty much wraps it up. You know, there's not a lot to say about it. There's not a lot to show because it's just so slow. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this sort of spin-off video of these vehicles. Let me know all your thoughts down below. It's interesting to take a different look at it and see what's at the other end. You know, we're always talking about the fastest vehicles in each class, the fastest vehicles in the game. It's interesting to go the other way and look at the slowest vehicles as well. So thank you guys for watching. Remember that I have tested out all of the vehicles in the game, 333 unique vehicles in the game, and I've tested every single one around the track. So if you want to see all the videos, they will be in the playlist down below. But thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.